I'm at the organ console with Principal Tabernacle Organist Richard Elliott, and Richard, like many of our viewers, my training is in piano, so I understand the keyboard part of organ playing, and I've played a little harpsichord in my time, so I get the moving between the manuals, kind of, but the pedals, completely intimidating, especially with everything else that's going on here. So can you explain for us a little about how the pedals work and how you acquire pedal technique?
Sure. Well, for those who don't know, the pedal board is basically just a set of giant keys that the organist plays with his or her feet. And they're connected to the biggest pipes in the organ, which also play the very lowest sounds, kind of like this sound here. And because of that, the feet are usually playing the bass line, so they're kind of like the string basses, the bassoons, the trombones, or the tubas of the orchestra. In fact, if you look at the pedal stops, you'll see a lot of tubas and trombones and bassoons and contra-basses there. But as far as acquiring pedal technique, it takes a lot of time. For a lot of people, they find that at the beginning, if they just focus on playing the feet by themselves and getting that where it's automatic, and then adding the hands to the piece later on, that's a good approach. One secret of the trade is that having good organ shoes really makes a difference, and the difference between organ shoes and regular street shoes is that they're all leather on the bottom with a leather sole and a leather heel, and that allows you to slide around and pivot around and not get stuck on the keys. And for me, my secret to learning the pedals is to turn off all the sounds on the manual keyboards here and play my piece so that I'm only hearing what my feet are doing, even though my fingers are moving at the same time. And that forces my ears to zoom in on what the feet are doing. And some interesting trivia about organ pedals is that back in the time of the great Johann Sebastian Bach, one of the greatest organists of all time, the organists only played with their toes, just the very tips of their feet. And nowadays we use both the toes and the heels, which allows us to play more complicated music. But in Bach's time, it was said of him that he could play better with his feet than most organists could play with their hands.
That's not surprising.